Hello, friends and fellow board gamers. We're going to take flight with Wingspan here. This is the digital implementation, and received a copy from the digital developer. Very excited about this. This is a great game in physical copy, and I've had a blast here playing it in digital copy, just to make sure I was fully comfortable with how it was laid out or different, because sometimes the digital implementations are not always exactly this. They don't feel the exact same. This plays really nicely. So what we'll do here, we'll just go and play, and we're going to play the automa deck, because that's us. So we've got the robot, we've got us. We're going to go with easy, because I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't beat the automa on easy in this yet. My 12-year-old beat me in this in real life. It's shameful. So I'm going to assume, I'm not going to go through the tutorial, as I'll kind of explain as we go, but I'll assume you may or may not be that familiar with it. I'll lean on the side of maybe you don't know. So essentially, we've got I guess it's a bird sanctuary, some kind of bird place where we're bringing birds in. And we've got the different sort of biomes. We've got the forested area, the woodlands, and the grasslands, and the wetlands where we can bring the birds. So we've got 4 rounds. And each round you've got a bunch of spots here. These are going to be our actions that we're going to take. And every round you get 1 less action, I believe it is, until you get to the end. And as you go in between the rounds, there's going to be some scoring opportunities. I'm going to use my mouse. You can play perfectly well with the gamepad, but I'm going to use the mouse simply so I can point at stuff on the screen. In between you can score extra points. So birds in with, or is there eggs and nests of these kind of nests, or eggs in the wetlands, or number of birds total, or eggs in the forested area. So basically those are our kind of objectives that we're going to get set out with, and let's just get going. I am terrible at this, and what we're going to do right off the bat, we get to pick the birds that we want to bring into our hand, and these are the ones we're going to work with right off the bat. We'll get more later, but we'll start with these. So it's going to be a combination of birds and food to feed these birds. So underneath the biome where they live is going to be the cost. So for this one, it's going to be a berry and a worm, or this one, it's a worm or a wheat. This will be the scoring thing will be the number of points it's worth. This will be the kind of nest it has. It's going to give us some bonuses when we play it or activate it, and then where we can store our eggs. Believe it or not, this game is really straightforward. It's once you play it once, you go, oh, 100% totally get this thing. The first time you're faced with it is a bit daunting in terms of the sheer volume of information. Part of that is because there's no 2 cards that are the same. It's a huge deck of cards, and they're all different, which makes it kind of intimidating, because every time you play, you're like, I haven't seen any of these cards before. So it's a lot of new information being thrown at you, combined with a lot of potential choices. But realistically, it's a very small number of things you're going to do each round, or get to choose from, really. So let's get going. Let's pick some birds here. So we get to keep one of our 2 bonus cards right off the bat. We got Rodentologist, birds that eat mice. We're going to get 2 per bird at the end of the game. Or a nest box builder. If we get a certain number, we'll get some bonus points. You know, I'm not going to worry too much about it. It would be nice to do this. The rodent one, those birds tend to be more expensive. You can see 15% of the cards are the type that are going to eat rodents. And 31% are going to be nest box builders. That might be our easier card to go with. But let's see here what we got. So right off the bat, we can see we've got 1 of the birds is potentially that. So I'm going to go through this. I'll take my time with this, because I know the setup of your, I wouldn't call it an engine, but the setup of your whole kind of what your strategy is going to be. It does kind of matter, because these moves, it seems like you got a lot of choices for moves, but they go by really quick. So I think we're going to try to get loaded up in a spread of different regions right off the bat. I'm not going to worry too much about the final bonus or the in-round bonuses. We're just going to try and get a variety of things that don't have really high costs. Now we can get this duck. That's going to take up a spot and give us more advantage. We're going to get 0 points at the end of the game. There is no bonus that is related to that, so I don't know that we want that. Maybe we want to take this one that we could put in the waterway. 4 points. A lot more expensive to play it. it also bounces around. This one is 0, but then you can draw cards every time it's activated, which is kind of nice. That's a kind of a big bonus, really. So maybe I'm going to go and just go, you know what, let's kind of ignore a lot of the stuff. I'm just going to grab 3 cards right off the bat. And I can pay for, let's see, we can go, I can get, or no, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the worm and the wheat. Although this domain gives me, you know what, this one, if I play this, I can get access to more food quicker. So I'm going to have to, I'll do that. We'll play the red, whatever, I can't even read it from this distance. The red cockadede. Okay. So now we've got our birds, and we've got our bonus card. We're ready to go. So if we play a thing in the woodlands, we're going to get kind of a bonus each time. And the cost to play birds in this domain gets more expensive over time. But we're going to try to play a card here right away. Let's play this thing here. There's no cost for the first one. Later on there'll be egg costs that we'll have to pay. They come from any card, but there's no cost except for our food costs. So there we go, and we'll pay those costs. Now we get to choose a card, because when we play it, it says draw 2 new bonus cards and keep one. So that's perfect. So an omnivore, a bird that eats anything, and there's not many of those, 10%, or an anatomist, birds with body parts in their names. Now, I don't know that we have one of those yet, but that's more likely that we're going to get one of these. So, you know, we'll take that one. Again, I don't pay too much heed to the bonus cards. I probably should, but there's a lot going on, and if you tailor your decisions to any one path, I find it really difficult. So the automas went. I'm not going to describe what the automa did, because I generally don't pay much attention. Even in real life, if you play this as a game with like one other person or a few people, I don't find I pay much attention to the other players. This is one complaint of the game, is that it is kind of becomes a solitary game in many ways. Like so many Euros can lean towards anyway. They become more math oriented than being social games. Okay, so now in this one, we've got our next choice up. You know, we don't, if you look here on our list of food, we have no food, so we can't play a bird. So we can get food, or we can get eggs, or we can draw cards. Now, I don't feel the need to get cards. I think we want to get ourselves some food, but then, you know what, if we were to play a card... okay, well, if I got 1 food, it's a hard choice here, because you go, okay, if you want to max out everything you're doing early on here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Let's see here. Hold the phone. No, there's no food that I actually want. Never mind this. That's unusual. Okay, I'm going to go over here, and I'm just actually going to take a card then. And I'm going to take wow, they all are kind of similar. So we'll take another wetland. We'll take a willet or a black tern. Roll a dice in the bird feeder if there are any that are not in the bird feeder. So if there's dice outside the bird feeder, if there's a fishy, you gain 1 of it and you cash it on the card. This one, you can draw a card, and if you do, discard 1 from your hand, so you can swap your cards out, get better cards. I think I'm just going to take the willet. Let's do that. Okay, and worst case, what we can do is we can kind of trade off a card to be able to get more food as well. Alright, we're blowing through. It goes so fast. So we can see what's available still. Now, if we did get a fish, we could at least play this card. So let's go ahead, and we're going to draw a fish. And that's about... There's nothing else good here. If you have, like, say, 2 of the same, or 3 of the same, or whatever, you can re-roll the food that's available. We can't yet because there's still too much choice. So again, they've gone. I'm paying no attention to what the automa is doing. I will say this, having played a lot of viticulture and a lot on the automa decks, the same publisher as this game, this publisher tends to do a very good job of the automa decks. So I when I get any Stegmaier games, I always go, or Stonemaier, sorry, Stonemaier games, I always go, you know what, I'm going to have fun with this no matter what, because I know that you can play it by yourself. Worst case. If nobody else wants to play, you're still good. And this design is by Elizabeth Hargrave. This isn't... I don't know, Jamie Stagmeyer, I think, did the viticulture. But this is another board game designer, Elizabeth Hargrave. She did an amazing job. It's such a good design. Now, we're kind of at this point now where we're going to go, okay, what do we have no food. We have no eggs. We want to start getting the machine really going. We really want to get more stuff, but we can see that the food on offer is terrible, which this isn't good. This isn't very nice right now. Neither of our birds have a nest type that matches the bonus, so it'd be nice to at least get on the board with the bonus. It really would. You know, at this point, I think I'm tempted to actually just grab some. We're gonna grab some eggs. And does it matter later? Yeah, we want eggs in the wetland, so we'll put them there. We'll probably use them between now and the second round, but we'll put them there anyway. We'll just try to remind ourselves that that's where we're going to want them. Okay, so we got 3 turns left of this round before we do a little bit of scoring. So it goes quick. Now, our choices are, like I said, there's still the food in the thing. We're down, almost down. If we can get down to, you know what we could do? I think what I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm tempted. What I'm really thinking about doing is rolling it and then giving one of my cards away to get a second one, in which case I could re-roll the existing dice and then grab one of those, and it'd be high luck I would get something I need as opposed to what we're currently getting, which is a sack of garbage. But instead, you know what? I'm just going to take cards. Let's go do that. What do we have here? See, I should have taken a look at all these rodent cards now. I normally don't see this many rodent cards all at once. Those are really nice. This Northern Shoveler, 7 points at the end of the game. That's pretty sweet. High cost. I think I'm going to take a random card here. A White-Crowed Sparrow. Okay, that's fine. And I'm going to go like this. Pay a card, or pay an egg. And I'm going to take another random card. We're just going to take our chances. And let's do that. Oh, and because we activated this, now we played in this row, we get to activate the card here. Roll all the dice in the bird feeder. If there are any fish, gain 1 and put it on the card. Let's roll. Oh, perfect. We get a fishy that is going to be cached on that bird. All right. Now, I think that's just, I don't recall now how the caching works, if that's just end of game scoring, or if I'm able, because it doesn't show up here on my list of available foods. I can't recall if you can use cached food. I don't remember. Okay, let's now look at our options, because now again, we can mess with the feeder. We also have more birds, but look at all these birds. They all have the exact same food costs. It's worms and wheat. That's all we're about right now, is worms and wheat. So, this is a weird one. I hope the automa's having as much difficulty as we are, but I doubt they are. I wouldn't mind getting something into this area here, because I would like to be able to get over to the 2 food per pickup. So it'd be nice to play one of these. So maybe what we'll do is we're going to activate this. I'm going to choose a fish, because that would allow me then to, I'm going to pay a card. So I'm going to pay, let's see. You know, that Ready Duck isn't worth anything, and it's a nice card though. I like the bonus on it. Gain 3 wheat from the supply when played. That would actually be pretty good, because that would give me wheat for other critters. So, but by that point I might not even need the wheat. So I think I may go with the other one. Oh, sorry, get you out of there and put you in. That one has a gain, when activated we gain a wheat from the supply, so let's do that one. Okay, and I'm going to re-roll these. And we're going to take ourselves a, we'll go with a worm. there we go. You can see those crunchy little decisions. They're hard little decisions because the consequences, you run out of turns very fast. Now, the end of this one, again, we're scoring birds with eggs in bowl nests. I don't know what kind of nests those are, what you would call them. Does it say? No. Okay, no, it's good showing. See, they're working on it. We have nothing to show for it, and we're not going to. So we're going to lose points. But I think we would like to get something played in this one here. So, it's a hard debate. I've got a worm, I've got a fish. So I could go here, and then you can activate more cards, or I can play this one, and it helps me activate food. I think we'll go with the activate food. We'll pay a worm. So when activated, select a bird to spend an egg. So because it's up in the first row, we have to pay an egg. So we'll go and get this card here. Thankfully, we've got one egg left. And that's that. And that's them. And I think we're going to have scoring now. We didn't get anything. So in the first one, they're going to get a bonus of 4. We're going to get a bonus of 0. So they're already pulling 4 points ahead. That one is kind of a bummer. Okay. So at this point, we could, I think it would be in our interest to pull some food. And we'll pull this one, and we'll call it a worm. We'll call this one, and we'll call it a... well, we got worm and wheat, worm and wheat. We're going to gain a... Oh, this is going to get cashed on this card, so it's not even going to be usable, is it? I'm just going to do that. Oh, gain... Yes, we will do that. Okay. They're going. We don't care what they're doing. Now, I see a raven down there. They're kind of interesting. Like as a draw card. I like what they can do. So, I mean, what we could do... Oh, no, that one doesn't... What does it say? When activated, not when played. So that one allows you to discard an egg to get 2 food. That's a nice one if you get that in your engine early on. I don't think we're at the point now where it's going to matter as much. Right. So we're looking to get birds in the waterway for this one. Well, we've got 1, so we're at minimum we'll score a 2nd. So as long as you have something in that domain, you're good. At this point, a lot of eggs would be kind of nice. So it would be good to start laying down stuff into this domain. But we need the wheat from that one. So we'll go with we'll play the ruddy duck. Oh, right, we need to lay some eggs here, don't we? Let's pick some birds. There we are. We'll play them in the waterway. So there you go. Like, you start setting up your action, you realize I can't even do it this turn. We are going to be trounced. I'm not going to pretend that I'm like, oh yeah, we're quite good at this. No, I'm not great at this game. I've played enough of this game to know I'm not great at it, but I know I like the challenge, and I'm intrigued every time I play it. And I always think, oh, this is the way I need to build the engine. And then the next time I'm like, oh, this is the way I need to go. This needs to be my strategy. I'm not building an engine. I'm going to build this strategy. And every time you move around. But that's part of, I think, why people like this game is the brain tickle, is that it always feels kind of satisfying. So this one now, if we were to draw cards, we would draw this here, and we would activate this one, which says draw 2, and then discard 1 from your hand at the end. So we'd end up with like 3 cards at the end of it. And then potentially gain a fish cached. So you can see how the chain, the more cards you get in a row, the more you activate the cards that are down, the more you get a huge buildup of stuff. And it starts becoming a thing like really fast. Like you can end up with quite a lot of stuff. With this one, I think what I will do, it's hard because I know I want to play this card, but at the same time you want to get more cards so you can see what you're working with. I'm very much torn. I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to actually get cards. Look at this swan, 9 points. It's a rando plus 2 wheats. You know what? I'm going to totally take that, and that's a ridiculous card to take. When played, keep draw 2 new bonus cards, keep 1. Why not? And yeah, you know what? Because we could end up like it's like Ticket to Ride when you draw a bunch of ticket cards at the end, and when you've already laid all your routes, and you're kind of like, okay, I'm kind of done. You can sometimes peel new tickets and or new whatever routes or whatever, and end up scoring a absolute bucket ton of stuff at the end. Okay, so we've gotten. There we go. Okay, the dice outside the bird feeder. There was no fish. We've got to discard a card. So now let's decide on which one to get rid of. I think we'll keep the stuff that's in the... I think we'll get rid of this. Even though this one, play a second card in that one to... you can play 2 cards in 1 turn, which is kind of nice if you have the food available. I think we'll do that though, because our next bonus is going to... We got Waterway 1, and then we're going to have 1 in the forest. I think I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to pay too much attention here. I can't think about it too much. And this is a game, I think, again, the more you play it, the more you kind of get a little bit of mastery. And I think it becomes impossible at some point to play new players because you've actually started seeing enough cards to have a really strong sense of how to go about playing it. It's a weird game like that, I think. Okay, so we're going to want food. We've got 1 fish, 1 worm. We can't do anything with that. So let's go back up here and we're going to roll this. Now we're going to re-roll because it's nothing really good. So I'm going to take a worm. I'm going to take another worm. And that's that. We're going to gain a wheat from the supply. So that doesn't come from this. That comes from the right from the actual supply itself. Which is nice. We're caching some stuff. It's good. That's points at the end, I believe. And that's another thing, the eggs on your cards count as a point, stuff cached, cards tucked, points on here, bonuses from here. It's a hodgepodge of points you get. It's a total mashup of different things you're going to get at the very end. So that's also kind of intriguing. So we would really like now to get some wheat. I'd love to get that swan down. Just because it's an amazing card. For 9 points would be really nice. That said, can we get anything else down? You know, we've got lots of worms, but we need wheat. We need lots of wheat, and that's not forthcoming at this point. We also need to get more eggs down into the waterway. That would be good. I think I'm actually going to do an egg action, and I'm going to put eggs down here. Because I am going to need them soon as well. So I'm going to just set myself up with that. As we get closer to the... 1 turn left. So this is the last turn. It'd be nice to be, doing okay with this. Can't even remember. I think if you were to look, it would show you how many they have. I'm not going to pay attention. We're doing okay. Now, do I want to go with food? Yeah, there's no cost to do this action, only if I lay another card here. So we could do this, and we could re-roll because those are the same type. Let's get rid of those, and perfect. We will take 2 wheat. We'll gain a wheat from the cache, put it on that. So that's good. We set ourselves up there a little bit for the next round. I feel pretty good about that. And yeah, that's fine. We got second place. We see the delta is like we got a difference of 3 points. Last time a difference of 4 points by not scoring anything. So as long as you score something, it seems like you're doing okay with the automa. All right, round 3 of 4, 6 turns left. See, it seems like a lot. And this is where I felt like what this reminded me of. A lot of people talk about like a race for the galaxy. But in terms of the crunchy little choice of how I set myself up for the next thing later and maximize, like just squeezing everything out of each turn, it actually made me think of a lot of Agricola and like the make bread action and things like that, where you're really trying to, anything you can do to get yourself a little buff here or there, you're just trying to squeeze out it's a total min-maxing kind of game. And anyway, it made me think a lot of that sort of thing. Now, I think we can play the swan. We have the 2 wheat, and we can just give it a fish. I think we're going to do that. Now, we're going to change this because I want to... We're going to call it a... yeah, we want to pay and that, and that, and that. So fishy. And that. Yes, okay, so fish, wheat, yes. No, I'm good with that, I think. Okay, well, I guess there. How many eggs? Oh, it's 1 egg, right? Okay, that's 9 points down. That's nice, that's good. I still don't think it's going to be enough to really do much, but... So again, they got 49 total points, I think. That's for them. I don't even know what my total score is, like, ever. I don't know, what does it say? Does it tell me anywhere? If I click on here, what does it tell me? No. If I look on my main board here, does it tell me what looking at all the... There's a lot of information. This is a nice pull-up. If you want to pull up a card, this is what it would look like. If you're playing the board game version, you would be laying stuff down into your little, your deck here. What is this? Oh, this is going to tell me just the activation stuff. It's a very nicely boarded game. I quite like it. So let's think about what our next things to do is. We've got worms plus wheat. We can't play any birds yet. Would be nice to get something in this area here, or again, play more birds here, ultimately. We're trying to play as many birds as possible. Now, I can get a wheat, and we could re-roll. Let's get this wheat, choose that, and I'm going to re-roll the rest of those. Good gosh, look at that. That is a pile of fish. 4 fish and a wheat. Alright, well, they've got a mountain full of fish. If they've got a, like, that's their bird. I can't even think of a bird that just eats 4 fish. Is there a card that does it? I don't think so. Maybe. That's a hungry bird. Now we've got 3 worms and 2 wheat. So we got enough to do some stuff. We can actually play both of these cards. So we got draw 2 new cards when played. That's the bonus card one. And then if you activate this, if the bird is to the right of all the other birds, move it to another habitat when activated. Right, so that one becomes problematic because it bounces around. For now, we're going to do this. We'll pay the cost. And we're going to go and now select an egg. So this one, we're not worrying about eggs. We're worrying about total birds for this bonus. So you actually just want to have lots of them. Birds in the habitat with the fewest birds, we get 2 per bird. Well, we have no birds in the grasslands, which would mean we get like 0 or maybe 2 if we get 1 down. That's not going to be a great bonus. Birds that only live in the grasslands, we're definitely not going to have that. So maybe we'll go with this. That's not a great bonus card, and that's that. Okay. Oh boy, not many turns left. This is gonna be tight. Okay, so, let's see here. What do we have? Well, I could play this here. Wow. I could play either of them. This card here, I'd like to play. It's gonna bounce around though whenever I activate it, which is kind of problematic for the late game, but it does just get the card down now. But I do want to do a get food, but then that allows me to do a 3 get food action, which is kind of nice. So if I've only got whatever it was, do I have 3 actions left? I'd love to get yeah, we got, my gosh, it's not many things we're gonna be able to do. I'd like to get some eggs down, because do we even have any? We got 1 egg. Now I can't lay anything here because it's going to take 2 eggs, which I do not have. I do not have 2 eggs because I've failed to put enough things. So I could play this bird into this habitat. You know what? Let's do that. We're gonna do that one. And then if I activate, I'll get 2 birds or 2 eggs. It didn't cost me any to play it, which is good. So I get a bird down for the end of round scoring without a cost. 2 turns left for this round. Let's go. Yeah, I guess we can either draw cards. And you know what? That'll give me a ton of cards. Let's... No, we're going to lay eggs. And ultimately, I'm going to want eggs in the grasslands. Let's put them there. I could hand in food to get them, but I am going to want the worms, so now we're going to have to move the rascal to another biome. But here's the interesting part. If I move it here, it allows me to then do like a 3 get food action. So I will move it up here. And there it is. And next time I activate it, it's going to actually... those are helpful little birds. They're kind of annoying when you're trying to score like a biome. But they're helpful in that it can, without cost, bump you up a rung on any of the given things. Especially since you can choose where you want it to go. So... right, I had done that. I need food. So that, I guess we're going to definitely re-roll these 4 fish. So we'll grab a wheat, and then we need 2 worms. So we'll grab a worm, and then we'll grab, what should our next one be, you think? I'm just going to go with a worm. And then we're going to move it to another habitat. So if we move it here, it'll still be a 2 egg action where we can convert food to an egg, which is kind of nice. Or if we put it here, we'll actually be able to get 3 cards in our next turn. So I actually might put it down on that one. Gain a wheat from the supply and cash on the card. There we go. Excellent. Excellent. That must be the most worst used pun in the when playing this game. And they got 10 and we got 7. So again, 3-point spread wasn't the worst. We got on the board, right? Now we've got 5 turns left. Now we're at the crunch. We're really at the crunch. So I'd like to play this thing. It's going to cost me 2 eggs to do it. I'd like to actually get a bunch more things though. But we don't have a lot of turns. So I think let's see, what is this when activated? Once between turns, when another player takes lay eggs, this bird lays 1 on another, whatever, multi-egg nest. That's cool, but it's not, not the end of the world if we don't get it. Ecologist, okay, right, we want to get some stuff in the grasslands for that one. Body parts, that would be cool. So beak, belly, breast, cap, collar, chin, shoulder, tail, throat, wing. So I don't even know. We're going to get some points. And then the number of birds with the whatever those nests, the box nests are. If we have 4 or 5 of them, we'll get on the board. I don't know. Do we have any? 1, 2. So we'd need at least a couple more. So this is where you're like, oh, what do I want to do? What do I want to do with this? So I think I might do a draw cards action and try to grab some stuff here. If we grab this purple martin, that's not bad. We can put it in the grassland. 1 worm cost. That works for me. And look at this blue winged warbler. It has no bonus, but it's 8 points at the end of the game, and we can put it in either of those biomes, and it's just 2 worms. That's pretty sweet. We can actually play both of these cards with our current go. Now I get to choose 3 cards, it says. So there we go. We got a burrowing owl as our 3rd one. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with those. Now, move the white crowned sparrow to another habitat. Which one do we want to go down into? I think I might just move it into the grassland here. Oh wait, I know, I see. I can move it up into this one. Yeah, let's move it up into this one. Because if I need to get food, we can get 3. Draw 2 cards. If you do, discard 1 from your hand at the end of the turn. Why not, I guess. Because that means I can keep 2 of them and just get rid of 1. So get a blue jay. That's I can play in the woodlands. Or an acorn woodpecker. The acorn woodpecker is worth 5, but it has a high cost. It gives me another one of those box nests. So I've got a couple of box nest cards. It's the one thing I do find it a bit fiddly looking at for birds here, but I am using a mouse, so that's kind of on me. Whereas if I took, yeah, I don't know. 1 wheat or, what was it? Or 3 wheat. 3 wheat might be a hard buy at this point. Whereas the 1 wheat, but we also are running out of things we can play in just this biome. So in terms of what I want to get rid of, okay, let's choose. Oh yeah, I got to roll. No things, and I've got to discard. So let's discard. I think we'll get rid of the acorn woodpecker. If that one is a single biome card and it's a higher cost, so let's get rid of that. Might be regrettable, but whatever. Okay, we don't have many rounds to now activate all these things, and if I did play anything here, it has a high egg cost, so 4 turns left. We got to make it count. So I have a total of 3 eggs. Oh gosh, is what I say. So I think we need to play something here in the grasslands. It's probably not going to be a burrowing owl, as I do not have any mice. I could have got rid of that card, actually. That would have been wise. Okay, so the purple martin or the blue-winged warbler. The warbler here, if I play in the grasslands, 2 worms, 8 points. Let's just get that thing down. It's all good. Okay. I feel good about that. That's a lot of points. I'm going to still get beat. I feel like I'm definitely going to lose, but it's actually not going to be the worst defeat I've had. So I feel good about that. So we have 1 worm and 1 wheat. Now I'm going to play the purple martin into the grasslands as well, because okay, select a bird from any habitat to, yeah, okay. So for this round we're trying to get eggs from that habitat, so let's get rid of 1 from that habitat, and then that is that. Where it said get 2 bonus points for the birds in the least habitable or habitat. So far that's 2, so that'll give us 4 points. So we get a couple bonus points for one of our bonuses here, the ecologist one. I at least wanted to get a couple birds in here. That was sort of my ambition. So we have 1 wheat, and that is that. Definitely we need eggs now. I'm going to do an eggs action. I'm going to do it in this biome. Because that would be the best one, and I can't get a bonus for that. Tuck a card from my hand. Now I think I will tuck the burrowing owl, because it's unlikely, and then choose a card. I don't even know why I get to do this. I'm going to just take something, I think, off the top deck. There's that northern bobwhite, but I mean, that has a high cost. So does this thing. That's a nightmare. Okay. Gain food. Oh no, that's just in between screen. Alright. They're at 84 points. Yeah, we're going to be lucky if we hit 60, I bet. Round 4-4. 1 turn left. This is it. This is our critical juncture here. I think what I might do, I can't lay anything down. I can't do anything dramatic. I think what I might do is I might just take food and actually fill up this biome as much as possible. Yeah, I think that we'll do that. And then tuck a card from my hand. I don't know that it matters. I'm just going to pick the gray catbird. Choose a card. Yeah, whatever. The pygmy nuthatch. Yeah, it's interesting. Whenever you see a new card, well, I mean, you're continually, but sometimes you see cards you've seen and you're like, oh, that's nice. This is a familiarity. And then you get like a whole slew of cards you've never seen. And you're like, wow, these exist? That's amazing. All right, and we got second place in that one. Not bad, though. It was 8 to 10 in terms of eggs. We got 3 points less. So you can see 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. That's 6 points. 4 points, that's 10 points. We've lost 10 points just on bonuses. That makes a huge difference at the end of game scoring, and I don't feel great about the rest of it. So let's see here. Birds, amount on cards. Okay, so they just in terms of pure card like numbers, they beat us on that, even though we put down a couple like a swan or whatever it was and a couple of nice ones. They crushed us on the eggs. They definitely had more eggs, and we had tucked out food and stuff. There we go, 67. And actually, we did a little bit better. I thought we'd be low 60s. I tend to range probably around high 50s, low 60s, I think is what my averages were. I've heard averages definitely, you should be able to play higher than this. I'm not optimizing things yet at all. I don't quite have this game figured out. Like, it's a tough little nut. I think at that point, like, I've played enough games to have a sense of how to play, but it is a tough little nut that I continue to turn around in my head. And each time you play, what I'll do actually, let's go back to the menu and sure, we'll save it to our heinous archive, and then I'm gonna roll the credits here, and we'll give a little overthought about the whole experience here. So this is the credits for the digital edition. The people over at Monster Couch. I think they did a great job. I really think they pulled it off, and it's lively enough. Like, the colors really, like, you look at these the designs and stuff. The cards really pop. It's not bad scans of stuff. It doesn't look like old. It used to be that a digital implementation of a physical board game often didn't look the greatest. And I think they did a really nice job with this one. I think that it feels very light and lively. I've played it quite a few times now, and I've come back very quickly. I find I play a game of it, I go do something else for a bit, and I kind of meditate on the whole experience, and I think, like, oh, what could I have done better? There is a voiceover, by the way, that gives you a little blurb, but I just turned it off because it was kind of intrusive for what I was doing. But the whole experience, it's a very well done implementation, so I'm quite happy with it. I'm going to be definitely continuing to play it. And of course, Elizabeth Hargrave did an amazing job on the physical board game. I think it's a lovely board game. It's very easy to see why it's so successful. I can see why there's some people that bounce right off of this game as well. If you don't like putting together crunchy little chains of things and making those tight little decisions, like, one of my favorite games is Power Grid. I don't mind doing math and, like, really having that crunchy little experience when I play a board game. That's very appealing to me. So if you like that, I think you'd very much like either of these implementations. If that's not your jam, then maybe not. But birds, hey, they're pretty. So it's a hard one. It's also, I think a lot of people talk about this as being a good, like, sort of gateway game. I still would lean on Ticket to Ride for sheer ease of explaining how to play it. This game is not complicated, but it is also a little bit more obtuse to, like, it's too many little things going on. Like, cards have multiple, so you get over about 3 gears in a game, I feel like you start losing people fast if they're not avid board gamers. This has a lot of gears that potentially, and so many choices, and I think it might be an overwhelming number of choices. If you have people that you game with that get analysis paralysis, this game will induce it very quickly. So I don't know if it's the easiest one to introduce. But that said, I don't think it's that hard once somebody gets through one game of it. I think almost anybody would click with it. It has that ease of play. At any rate, enough of me babbling away. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you all next time. Till then, bye-bye.